Thank you very much, Pedro, for sharing your experience with us and also for providing very useful tips, inputs, and recommendations. I think it's always very important to hear from businesses, already on the ground that had some past experience in India. I will give the floor to Dominic Boucsein, Head of International Trade and Foreign Policy at Eurochambres, for some closing remarks.
Thank you, Nicoletta, and I hope you can hear me well. And yes. I will just be brief after all the information that has been said. And let me also express our gratitude to the co-organizers here, the Portuguese Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and of course the India IP SME Helpdesk for helping us put together this webinar today. As Eurochambres, of course, one of our core missions in the international arena is to open doors for our companies, especially our SMEs, and make sure that they're aware of the opportunities that foreign markets provide for them, and that they, like we did today, receive all the support they need in terms of to internationalize their business, including, of course, through EU activities and policies. And we do that through advocacy here in Brussels with the EU institutions, but also through many concrete activities and EU-funded projects that we implement in almost all corners of the world, and including, of course, with India, which has been a core focus of our attentions for many years now, especially in the area of clean technology, but increasingly also in the wider context of business support schemes for SMEs, and of course, IP protection, which we have heard a lot about today. And I think IP is really a crucial topic for us as a European economy. One of our strengths is, of course, lies in our ability to innovate. So protecting our innovations and know-how is essential for our competitive position on the world stage. And I'm very convinced that this seminar has given you some useful information, tips, and tools to better plan your business engagement with India and know also how your innovations can be protected. Now, I think in our experience, the good thing about doing events with India is that we always have a full house and a lot of interested companies who are eager to tap into one of the world's fastest and growing dynamic markets. And I think it has been already alluded to, 1.3 billion consumers. And that is really a world full of opportunities, but also for challenges for European companies. So I think this is why it's so important we do these seminars like the one today, so you get all the information you need, you listen to experiences of fellow entrepreneurs and business, and that you know all about the support schemes that are available to you to help you make your business endeavor a real success. And of course, this seminar is also very timely, as at the end of the week, on the 8th of May, we will have the much-awaited EU-India summit. And with India, of course, being a key policy priority of the current Portuguese presidency of the Council. And of course, what better country than Portugal to lead this discussion at European level, given it was Portuguese sailors who were one of the first to really trade with India. And now under the leadership with Portugal, we have the chance to really deepen our EU-India strategic partnership to address common challenges. And they're first and foremost, of course, in helping each other fight the really deadly COVID-19 pandemic, which is sadly hitting India in such a terrible way these days, but really also to try to inject new ambition to our economic cooperation. And so it's really to make life easier for you, the entrepreneurs, in helping to restart the negotiations for a trade and investment agreement between the EU and India. But while these agreements would certainly greatly benefit all businesses, we have the estimates are out there that it could add up to 8 billion in increased trade. But these agreements take time. And also, in judging from experiences, India is also a challenging negotiating partner. So in the meantime, I think this is so important. We have these concrete actions like the webinar today to really bring the Indian market closer to you, to the entrepreneurs, because really the bulk of the growth in the coming years will come from Asia and especially India. And we as chambers want to make sure European business is ready and able to seize those opportunities. So you will excuse my portunhol, but muito obrigado pela sua atenção e boa tarde.
Thank you very much, Dominic, for your closing remarks. If possible, now there's a question here So on the fact that to Dominic, so how do you see the actual pandemic context in India, and if you think will impact on foreign investment in the country?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I think the pandemic is certainly having a real impact on our economic relations with India. I mean, as I said initially, I think first and foremost Europe, and I think it has been mentioned a bit before, Europe needs to present itself and is presenting itself, I think, as a reliable partner for India in these tough times, and we need to be there to help our Indian friends in this really tough situation. And if you've been following some of the statements and some of the aid already provided by the member states and coordinated, of course, by the European Commission, and this is an important signal we need to send, I think, as Europe, that we stand side by side with our Indian friends in these tough times. But at the same time, of course, the pandemic is accelerating many of the trends we've been seeing, and that will greatly impact the way our economy will function in the future, and where a lot of opportunities will be created with India. The digitalization, the green economy is something that in our economic recovery here in Europe are, let's say, one of the key priorities. So that will also open, let's say, in a post-pandemic context, a lot of doors for our cooperation. And this is precisely where this summit will also come in, not only to showcase our cooperation, our friendship with India, but also to see what kind of avenues we can embark in the future to really make sure we make the most out of this economic partnership that is already growing, but I think where we haven't yet reached the full potential.
Okay, many thanks, Dominic, for your input. I'm inviting all the speakers now here. So let me thank you all for your inputs, for your presentations, and for all the information that you shared. So to the audience, just one message. I invite you really to contact all the experts, use and try the India Readiness Kit, consult the IP expert, and as Pedro Pinto rightly said, also contact your local chamber if you're willing to enter the Indian market and establish a long-term internationalization strategy. As a final word, I want to thank you really our host today, the Portuguese Chamber of Commerce and Industry, for organizing with us such a rich session and a very informative session. So thank you very much, and thank you to the audience for joining us. And I'll say ate logo.